This is just too perfect. Donald Trump's beleaguered impeachment lawyers have misspelled United States in one of the early documents they put together for the impeachment defense of Donald Trump. Instead of saying the United States, they wrote the Unites States, UNITES, Unites States. These were the lawyers. This is so insane. These were the lawyers hired Monday, I guess, after Trump's original lawyers quit on Sunday night. This was a document, a 14-page legal brief, written to members of the United States Senate, except instead it was written to members of the United States Senate. It also, I mean, listen, remember when, I can't believe this is the timeline we're in, but remember when Rudy Giuliani farted? I mean, I don't know what, I could use a more, I could use another term, but when Rudy Giuliani farted 3 or 4 times during one of those bogus voter fraud hearings, and of course the fart was covered extensively, but it was not just the style that was weird about that event with Rudy Giuliani regularly farting while speaking. It was also the substance. The substance of what Rudy said, as I previously reported to you, was just as disgusting. And in this case, it's not just that the 14-page legal brief refers to the United States as the United States. It's also that it makes absurd legal arguments. The 14-page document argues that impeaching a former president is unconstitutional. Now, what you have to, there's so many reasons this is ridiculous. First of all, senators don't decide about the constitutionality of things in the United States. This is a political trial, okay? And although arguably too many senators are former lawyers, and I've advocated for more diversity in the types of folks who are U.S. senators and members of Congress, it is not up to the Senate to determine the constitutionality of things. That's number one. So a defense of Trump based on the alleged unconstitutionality of an after the presidency impeachment is unfortunately invalid at its base, but it doesn't matter because they can make whatever argument they want and the Senate can accept or reject the argument. But more importantly, Trump was not impeached once he was no longer in office. And even more importantly, you can impeach a president after they are out of office. Remember, the trial is happening after Trump is out of office, but impeachment happens in the House of Representatives, and impeachment took place before January 20th. When the House of Representatives impeached Donald Trump for a second time, Donald Trump was president of the United States, unless time now functions in some other way that I don't understand. But the Senate has previously had trials on impeachment for officials who at that point had already left office. So what's more embarrassing in the end, that Trump's own lawyers couldn't even correctly spell the name of the country in which these proceedings are taking place, or the fact that they're making an argument that is not only wrong, but also pathetic and not up to the jurisdiction of the Senate? Take your pick. It's like it's like a choose your own adventure. And according to a report from Axios, Trump has actually started to sort of privately concede that a lot of the representation he's had has been embarrassing to him. It reflects a certain amount of self-awareness that we've not really seen from Donald Trump during his presidency. But at this point, who even cares? This is starting on Tuesday. We'll be covering much of it. And if this is a sign, if United States is any indication of how Trump's legal team is going to perform at next week's impeachment trial, it's going to be quite a scene to watch, and we'll be covering much of it. When I read United States, it reminded me of God bless the United States. Many of you, I'm sure, remember that. The Israelis and Palestinians. How does this even happen? Like, doesn't spell check protect this, prevent this from happening? Like, I'm talking on a technical level. How does it actually happen? And one other thought I had as I was reading this is, one of the big supposed selling points about Donald Trump when he was running for president was that his best skill is hiring people, only the best people. He might not know about foreign policy. He might not be an expert on whatever, anything. But he hires the best people. And I have a hard time thinking of someone who has demonstrated themselves to be worse at hiring people than Donald Trump has been. Hilariously or sadly, Trump's best employee might have been Christopher Krebs, who said the election was secure and you really lost, Mr. President. And Trump fired that guy. The few people that by mere chance seem to be reasonable people that Trump has hired or allowed to work for him seem to be the first ones that Donald Trump fires. And it is all a comedy of errors. And we will be covering it. We will be covering much of next week's impeachment trial live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And I hope that you will join me. We will also have continued coverage of the United States on our Instagram page. You can find us at David Pakman Show on Instagram. And follow me while you're there at david.pakman. We'll take a quick break and be back with Tom Hartman right after this. When you see me sitting here at the microphone, oftentimes I'm wearing a shirt by a company called Teddy Stratford. And I love these shirts so much that I asked Teddy Stratford to be a sponsor of the show. And here's why I like their shirts so much. With other slim fit button-up shirts, you often get this weird looking gap between the buttons where it looks kind of stretched out, but Teddy Stratford actually has a patented zipper that's hidden underneath the buttons, which secures the shirt against your chest so it doesn't look stretched. And most importantly, it just provides a nicer looking fit overall. And the entire shirt is specially designed to really improve the way your upper body looks when you're wearing it. It also has a special type of collar that prevents it from drooping down and spreading open, which is another really great thing about these shirts. All of these things really do a lot to make a big difference when you're looking at a shirt. And that's why I like to wear Teddy Stratford shirts on the show. Go check them out at davidpakman.com/Teddy. The link is down below and they'll give you 15% off your first order if you use the coupon code Pakman at checkout.